Well, in January of 2015, he had an injury, he broke his hand and foot, and we took him to the emergency room and everything, and he got prescribed painkillers. And we had no idea that he got addicted to painkillers. Now, in around October of 2015, his mom found Suboxone in his room. And of course, I was upset. I yelled at him. I said, "Dad, this is what inmates try to have sent into the prison system." And then that's when he told us about his addiction to painkillers. And I looked it up online, educated myself a little bit about it. And then I went back upstairs to the top of the steps and yelled over to Thad, told him, "Thad, I'm sorry, I love you."
He was on Suboxone in an attempt to beat his painkiller addiction.
Yeah. I said, "Dad, I love you. If anything ever happened to you, I wouldn't want to live." And then, of course, we had him in rehab two different times at Marworth. And the first time he went through rehab, he was doing real good, was real excited, wanted to get clean, wanted to be good, and was really good about going to meetings and everything. And but first time he went to rehab, he was able to get Vivitrol, the blocker.
It's a long-acting blocker.
But then it only lasts for like 30 days or so. And I called around to different places, couldn't find any place to subscribe him that. And I called a place in Milton, but they only prescribed patients that went through treatment at White Deer Treatment Center. So I wasn't able to get him the thing, and then eventually he relapsed.
Dorie, relapse is common. When Thad came out of rehab, were you hopeful? What did you think might happen?
Well, I thought this was just a bump in the road. Because he really wanted to get better, and he just, it was just totally out of our family, our realm of, like, this, I'm just gonna say it just doesn't happen to us. And
when he did relapse, what clues did you have? What did you see?
Just some behaviors that I just said, you're reminding me of when. And he's like, no, 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 no.
When he relapsed, was he back to using pain pills, or was he using street drugs, or what finally turned out to happen?
When he didn't have pain pills, or Suboxone, that's when he turned to heroin. Now, he relapsed, so we took him back again to Marworth. And he didn't do as good when he came home as he did the first time. He wasn't as excited. He had drug court coming up and had all the anxiety and everything. And then, like about 3 days before he would have had drug court, I think drug court would have been real good for him, because it would have held him accountable, would have been structured. He would have had structure in his life, because he'd have to go to so many meetings, so many self groups, help groups, and be held accountable. And but 3 days before he would have had drug court is when I woke up to my wife screaming in the morning, "Thad, wake up, Thad, wake up." And I went over, as soon as that happened, it's like I knew what was going on in my head. I jumped out of bed, I grabbed the phone, dialed 911, ran to my son's room. And he was not breathing, and he was blue, lying on the bed. And I had the phone in one hand, I grabbed him, dragged him to the floor, and started chest compressions. And then the emergency, police and emergency personnel arrived, and My wife went and got Narcan before they arrived and applied that, and that didn't do anything.
That's the antidote that reverses an overdose.
Yes.